Pick up the mic and make some noise. Raise your voice.
Hey guys, it's Ari. Welcome back to episode 4 of Raise Your Voice. I just want to say thank you so much for the support on the last episode with my guest speakers Alex and Hikomu and Moshihime. It did really well, and it took a lot of planning and a lot of effort, so I'm really proud of how it did. Today's episode is going to be pretty short because there's only one main topic that I wanted to talk about and focus on, but I promise that next week's episode is going to be longer because I'll be joined by 3 new guests actually. So for today's episode, however, I have one guest.
Greetings. My name is Nekomancy, and I've been sober for at least 5 days.
A funny story, I didn't actually plan for him to join me today, but I wanted the company and he was here, so I brought him in. Just a reminder that he applied to talk on the show using an application form that I'll include in the description below. And without further ado, let's just get started. So the first topic, and kind of the only topic that we're going to talk about today, is this controversy, kind of, or like this stuff surrounding, I think their username is @worldnews. It's basically an account that posts news about the world, like the name says, but specifically it's been posting a lot about the coronavirus and statistics, like in each country and stuff like that. You'll know what I mean if you visit their profile. And overall, they just post a lot about topics and stories that all of us are familiar with, as we're all going through the same thing, essentially. For the past few days, I've seen this account go under fire this past week because some people are upset that this account posts stats and news about things that remind people of the real world. And of course, all these statistics are really upsetting, and I get that, but it's also argued that Hi-Rise is a place to escape from reality, and having an account that frequently posts about reality defeats the purpose of playing Hi-Rise.
Well, I don't think the account should be under fire because it's doing what the account is meant to do. And Hi-Rise is basically just a social media platform with a gotcha instead of ads. So if you don't want to listen to the news about Corona, then just don't follow the account like you would in any other app.
Yeah, I agree. Like, if you don't want to see this kind of stuff, you can always just block them. Like, you're not forced to see their content, and you're not forced to look at their posts. If you're getting upset about it, you could always just control what you see and, not see it. On the other hand, I've heard that a lot of people find this account to be eye-opening and helpful because it's important to stay educated on the current situation that we're all living in, and it's argued that their posts aren't even harmful in any way, and there's no reason to hate on someone who's just trying to keep the community updated. I mean, once you think about it, like, they're taking time out of their day to research all this info and post it, make it look nice, etc. And I just don't see like what's wrong with the account, other than like, of course, they post like pretty upsetting news. And if you ever even have like a problem with the account, just block them. Like, you don't need to make posts about them or just like constantly hate on them in the comments just because you don't like it. I mean, of course, freedom of speech and all, but like, it's not necessary, especially when they're not even trying to offend you. You're just taking it offensively. I just think it's really stupid how people overreact about this account.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Also, if you're trying to escape from reality, Hi-Rise isn't really a place to do it because Hi-Rise is social media. So like, play an actual game if you want to.
Right? Yeah, like it's social media. Like, people post whatever they want. So if you don't want to deal with like real stuff or deal with negativity and stuff, like, just why are you on Hi-Rise? Like, if you can't what's their phrase, like, if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen.
Yeah.
You cut off, so I was like, yee. A little bit off topic, and it might be a little political, but something that I've seen on Hi-Rise as well, I actually saw a post about this the other day. People like have been racist on Hi-Rise when it comes to coronavirus. Like, I saw this post about like this girl being like harassed by this person, like, and the person was like talking about like, don't infect us or something like that, or like, don't eat like bat stew or something like that. And it was like disgusting to read. And they were like, the person who was like harassing her was trying to defend themselves by saying like, oh, she shouldn't like infect everyone, like blah 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 blah, like, but she wasn't even doing anything. It was just so like gross to see, because people like attack each other, especially like Asians, like us Asians, like when people attack us because we're just Asian and our race is associated with coronavirus. I think it's really gross that people like carry that onto high rise and like treat each other on high rise like, we're not humans, I guess. Like, it's just really stupid, like, that people are like that. Like, I can't believe there's actually like people who will like willingly go out of their day to harass other people because of their race or because of what they did.
It's also inaccurate because the leading theory is that bats transmitted the disease to a different animal before being eaten. It's more of a safety regulation than eating different animals.
Facts. Like I said earlier, I believe that high-rise is sort of like an escape from reality because, it's a virtual world. And that being said, I believe that high-rise should be a positive escape from reality and that we should start being more uplifting and respectful of each other because we're already going through a lot in real life. Like, we're all going through the same thing. It should be like common sense to be nice to each other. But I think it's needed now more than ever because our real world is just getting worse and worse. And it's just getting more and more real. And I know it's cheesy. I know it's so cheesy. Like, I know a lot of people are not taking this stuff seriously. And, I mean, you don't have to take it seriously. I mean, preferably you should take it seriously. But encouraging positivity should never be something that we see as cheesy. It's overdone at this point, but like, it's for a good reason, like, you never know if someone's having a bad day and needs to feel better, or you never know if someone's like on the verge of like bursting because of what they're going through in real life. And like I said, it doesn't go like specifically for coronavirus. This goes for like people who are going through like real life issues, like with their family, or like mental health, or even like simple stress that we all go through. If you want to enjoy your time on high rise, I think it's only fair to make sure that other people are enjoying their time as well. And I honestly believe that all starts with just being respectful of each other and more positive with each other. Start being patient and kind with people who are bothering you. Like I said, if someone's being really rude to you or annoying you, it's not necessary to gang up on them and post about them and cause drama or get other people to like feel the fire. I think the best way to deal with problematic people is to just kindly tell them to stop, and you can always block or report them. Like, it's in your control to be mature. Often I see that like a lot of drama sprouts from people like just posting about each other. Like, how do you have time for that sort of back and forth? Like, it shows like how immature you are, and I'm pretty sure we all ideally would like to be mature. I don't know how to explain it. Okay, listen guys, like, I literally wrote this episode like 3 hours ago, okay? I'm a little frazzled.
Well, you see the same thing on other platforms where people are sharing screenshots to, like, I guess cancel someone when it could have just been resolved private. It's pretty childish. It's the equivalent of like saying, I'm telling mom, but in this case, the mom's like every other childish person on the internet arguing with each other.
It's actually something like I try to teach our crew. If any crew drama starts, like in the crew chat, like bring it to private messages, because you can always resolve it privately and not everyone needs to see it. Like, it's not everyone's business. Not everyone has to be involved. I believe that we should all try to accept that some people won't always agree with you, and you should try to learn to respect everyone's opinions. It should be like common sense, but I find that arguments on high rise are so frustrating because it feels like everyone wants to fight with each other. It feels like everyone's just like looking for a fight. If you find yourself in a sticky situation like that, just be the bigger man and tell the other person that you respectfully disagree, and then just leave the conversation. You can control what you see and what you're affected by. Lastly, I suggest that everyone reach out to people who are obviously struggling. So there's a few examples of this. Like, if you see someone posting about something that's bothering them, like something that's like if you see them posting about like a real life issue that they're going through, or you see them like venting and it's really intense what they're talking about, start a conversation with them and remind them that they're not alone in what they're going through. It's like simple things like that. Like, you think like it's just like a small action to do, but really it makes a big difference. And I would know because, I go through this kind of stuff too, and when people reach out to me, it really helps me a lot and it gives me a lot of confidence in myself. Or even if it's just simple, like seeing a noob who's like confused about how the game works, you could always offer to help them understand the ways around high rise. Like we said in the last episode, just start once you start caring about the people behind the counts rather than the items they have or how good or bad their reputation is, you kind of start to be more mindful of like yourself and what you can and can't control, and just like, I don't know how to explain it, man. You just gotta like start being kinder, and then it just like it goes a long way. Anyway, guys, that's all for today. Like I said, I'm so sorry that this episode is short. I just wanted to talk about one thing, and that was just, regarding real life stuff and regarding how we can start treating each other in high rise to make, the community better. And yeah, like I said, next episode will be a lot longer and it'll feature some guests. But thank you so much for joining me, Nekomancy. Is there anything you want to say?
You should sub to RYV, and even if podcast is short size, it doesn't matter.
Like I said, feel free to sign up to be a guest speaker in the application form below. Everyone is welcome to sign up as long as you have high rise and as long as you have Discord and a decent mic. Anyway, that's it for this episode. Please stay safe and be kind to each other because we need it during these really, really rough times. And that's it. Goodbye.
Goodbye, humans. Pick up the mic and make some noise. Raise your voice.